So obviously we all know he's the director of IIT Madras, and on academic side he has brought many revolutionary changes, including democratizing education and so on. And not only that, on the dharmic side he has done like very many things. So he does not hold a passport, he has not travelled outside on the command of Paramacharya. And of course his father is Professor Vijayanath, professor at Sanskrit College, and besides he is a violin player, Rasika of music, and he runs a Goshala and many things. I can keep on listing. So we request you to address the gathering, Mohodaya.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for inviting me. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are very much audible. Yeah.
Okay. I am traveling. Unfortunately, today I could not be there. My humble pranams to. Can you just mute your side because there's an echo. My humble pranams to Mani Dravid sir and Patil sir. Your work is really something that's very much important for us today in this world of AI, where there are many possibilities for young children to become more materialistic and leave out certain very important qualities that defines our great Bharat, namely our culture, our honest approach towards solving problems and the related ethical practices. So a gurukul is something very important today. The national education policy actually talks about holistic development, and the holistic development actually comes from the Gurukulam system. And I'm very happy that this Medha Gurukulam is set up in Chennai, somewhere near Chennai, and there are some students who have joined and who are benefiting out of this. So fully residential Gurukulam, and that's what Gurukulam essentially means. I'm extremely happy, and as we see in our Upanishad, Mata Deva Bhava, Pita Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava, after the parenting that happens at a young age, when you're a toddler, the moment you become move to the next stage in life, the next person who takes on and guides you is the Guru, and you need to spend almost entire time with the Guru, and there only you will learn many things, and the learning comes by observing. We always say in music, in the study of Shastras, wherever there is going to be a lot of creativity in interpretation, etc., I think a very careful observation of the Guru is important. In music, we can very quickly relate the way the Guru practices, the way the Guru approaches one concert after another. There could be different ways. The teaching can be different depending upon the, that day's Shari Ram or this. The Guru can bring out new nuances and new flavors on a daily basis of the same song again and again. So these are all very keen observations that you do staying next to the Guru, and this is what the Gurukulam system actually brings in. And the next one is, today the whole world is stunned by some of this AI trying to solve all the problems, and what would be our education system, and that Gurukulam type of education actually plays a very significant role. If you look at, let me have the courage to talk before the great Mani Dravid sir and Patil sir. The entire study of the Vedanta and a major part of the Nyaya Shastra actually comes from this doctrine called Purvapaksha and Siddhanta. The Purvapaksha essentially is to ask the questions and try to answer those questions. So the art of questioning actually has basically guided the way the Indian education system had been. And thanks, quote unquote, thanks to this Macaulay, who came and killed this entire process of education and made it into a one-side monologue where people teach, students listen, and rarely do students ask questions in the class. And always these questions are well answered. And if in a subject, if all the questions are well answered, then the subject ceases to exist, in my opinion. There must be so much to explore, and that is what keeps the subject interesting. Now, what the new large language models like your ChatGPT, OpenAI, etc., we have reached a stage where any question we ask, the tool is able to give almost correct answers. Now, how do you ask the correct questions to solve a problem, right? So this is more now coming back to our Purvapaksha Siddhanta style, where now we would like the whole education landscape in some point of time is about how to train the student to ask the correct questions, and that is the way the whole next generation education is shaping up. And that means the Indian way of education, the Indian way of how Vedanta and Tarka have evolved over a period of time, and that is coming up to life again. And this time, the tool that will answer the question need not exactly be a guru, but also can be a ChatGPT. And the guru basically, asks and the guru basically will teach the student how to ask these questions. And the next important thing today, I'm very happy that the three pillars of our study, the Nyaya, the Vyakarna, and Vedanta, are covered in the Medha thing I saw in your website. It is extremely important. My father, Professor Virinathan, always used to say that, the study of logic is extremely important for you to basically understand the study of Vedanta. Without logic, it is nothing that you can learn. Logic forms the great foundation, and he always used to say a quote from Parikshit Ramavarma, the king of Travancore, who was a great Sanskrit scholar, a very great Nayayika, and extremely passionate Vedantin. And he always says that if you don't have the knowledge of Nyaya Shastra, then Vedanta is this famous quote that he used to say, Kati Sutram Vina Kaubina Bandha Prayasaha. Right? So I think this is something very, very important, and I'm very happy that these three are being conducted in Chennai in this Gurukulam, and I'm sure many students will come join and be part of this great effort. Again, thanking our very beloved Manindra Vitsastrigal and also Patilji. Right. And the next point that I wanted to touch for all in parents also were assembled there. See, Indian language is not just a language; it's a gift of God. There is a very famous Sanskrit statement which says, "Akaradi Kshakaranta Matrika Akshara Rupini." From Akara to Kshakara, which is almost common in all the Indian languages. These are all divine, divine forms. They are all form of Mother Shakti, and that is what it says. So our languages are divine, and that is why we have mantras in all these languages. We have mantras, for example, we have several mantras in Tamil, Kandasashti Kavacham, Velmaral, all the Tiruvanba, Tirupave, Tiruvanbave, many things, and the complete, works from the Vaishnava tradition. These are all basically from the Tamil language, and we have lot in English, in Sanskrit, and then in Hindi, the Vraj Bhasha, Hanuman Chalisa. So many languages that you take, every language is a divine gift, and that is what makes our Bharat a very, very divine country. The languages that we speak and languages that we dwell with at home. So it is very important that we nurture our mother language. There were days in the past where, people took pride that my child in the home cannot talk Tamil. It was a pride, and that is what Macaulay brought into this, our country, great country. And I know of some schools which actually fine the kid for talking in Tamil. Okay, so we must talk in English. And these are some idiotic things that had happened in our education system in the past, which we need to completely get out, because Indian languages are precious, divine gifts given to mankind and to our country. And we need to remove this colonial mindset, and that is something extremely important. We must be proud to be a Bharatiyan, and that is where the Indian knowledge system comes in a very big way, right? We want to basically tell every child of our country that, see, all the sciences came from Adya Patana Asamavai Karanam Gurutvam. I think Patilji will be talking about this in great detail in the Tarka Sangraha class. This basically talks about the Newton's law several centuries before Newton first saw this falling apple. And I think these are some things that we need to do and tell our children that the entire scientific development, we have certain very basic things. So I saw some workshops on Leelavati, some workshops on mathematics. Now we need to put this into practice. So one of the efforts that, many higher education institutions, the Indian knowledge system vertical of our Ministry of Education, we are aspiring to do is to bring in back this, how the Indian knowledge systems that exist can be put to today's practice. Siddha, Ayurveda, Unani, all many treatises. The entire Ayurveda treatise is in Sanskrit. We have Unani in Arabic, and we have Siddha in Tamil. And all these things, where are we? So there are many hidden truths there. Many diseases where today we don't find a solution in allopathy. We give remedies that only prolong the disease, give temporary solace, but not permanent cure. And all these things are hidden in our Indian knowledge system, and we need to basically tap that. And that is something that pride needs to come. And now the next part is the invite actually had this word Tattva Chintamani, and I think that's a very beautiful text. My father, Professor Vinathan, used to talk about that in great detail many times. But what we see here that all world today is by observation, right? Any knowledge that you derive is by observation, and Tattva Chintamani basically tells you how to observe, right? So there are 4 ways. One is by perception, by just seeing, that is called Pratyaksha. Another is by inference, that is Anumana. And then another by comparison. Oh, this is like this, so I am also, so this could be that. And so that is Upamana. And then verbal testimony, which is Shabda. I think these 4 are dealt in great detail, and may not, that the young student may not, or a school student may not understand the full arguments that are put forward in these contexts. But then basically having certain definitions in mind will help the child to, whether sitting in the class, how do you understand the concept? Yes, I see that, I understand, or I infer, okay, this is because of this, I infer, okay, I can understand. This is similar to something else, so let us approach it in that fashion. That is also something very good. And the last one is that it can be a verbal testimony. So all these things come up in a very great way. And I think, I fondly remember the NCERT textbook in +2 has one very nice chapter on basically reasoning, logic and reasoning. And that is very, gloriously omitted in the syllabus. Nobody teaches that. Okay, but that's the most important thing that we must keep in mind. So that is that's what Tattva Chintamani essentially talks about, logic and reasoning and understanding. I think you would have had a great session there. I was told that there is a Sadas which basically talks about it, and I hope many children would have attended it also, if not the parents, and something for day-to-day life is specifically for preparing yourself for taking up higher studies, etc. And be very precise, right? Bertrand Russell, I would love every child to actually go through Bertrand Russell. He says clarity and cogency can best be reconciled with brevity, and the brevity actually comes from a very good study of these reasoning principles, the knowledge derivation principles that are clearly expounded in Tattva Chintamani. Last one, I think all from the great Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada to Vivekananda to all our Paramacharya of Kanchi, all the Acharyas of our 2500-year-old Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham, every Acharya had always talked about, finally there must be a Vedanta orientation to whatever we do, right? This is not real. So we are basically, the Kanchi Kamakoti Mat basically pronounces the Advaita philosophy, and finally it says it is not real, there's something much more real, and the mind must be prepared towards today. From a scientific point of view, many of you might be knowing about quantum computing, and the quantum computing derives all its explanation. Today, why this is happening in a quantum experiment? The explanation finally leads to Advaita Vedanta, right? And that is not, it's not a poor director of IIT Madras. Such statements made by Nobel laureates. Okay, Nobel laureates now say, who have worked in physics, as is saying that many quantum phenomena that is not understandable or explainable by science has its roots as its roots in Advaita Vedanta. So we must start looking at those things in great detail. So in that context, this Gurukul concept, where we teach these three pillars of Nyaya, Vyakarana and Vedanta, I think is going to be a very big incentive, and it's going to be a big turning point in the children. I'm sure children who come out of that very rigorous Gurukul system will be much more matured, much more knowledgeable, much more wise, and most importantly, their wisdom will suit a crisis. I think these are some great things, and I pray Paramacharya of Kanchi and all the Acharyas, Sankara Vijayendra Saraswati Swamigal, Satya Chandrasekhar Saraswati Swamigal, all of them to bless the Medha Gurukulam to all success and give a very long, healthy life for all the great committed teachers. My humble pranams to Manidra Vichatsigal and also to Patil Sahab. I will certainly take some time to come out there. It's certainly my loss today, but I had some other commitment at Tirupati, so I had to go there. So that's why I couldn't come in person. I wish this function, the Sadas, and all the deliberations great success, and many more children must join such type of Gurukul activities, and the Gurukul must be a shining model education system for our country. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Kamakoti, for your enlightening words and enlightening us on so many topics, including how it relates to quantum and how in the ChatGPT world, how such an education is very important, and the importance of Gurukul system, and how logic should be developed in the children, as well as how our languages are very important, where we are turning away from our languages. So we definitely invite you to come to the Gurukulam one of these days and pay a visit, sir. Thank you very much for accepting this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.